Okay, good morning. I'm Dan Butler, Chair of the Wareham Redevelopment Authority. It is Thursday, July 24th. I am calling the WRA meeting to order at 9:08 a.m. And before we do a roll call, I think we need a pro tem clerk, at least for today.
I'll move that we appoint Mr. Faraday as the clerk pro tem for today.
Do I hear a second? Any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Josh, congratulations.
Thank you.
Condolences.
Yeah. Something like that.
And Josh, congratulations too. I saw you were formally appointed on 16 July, was it?
Correct.
By the select board. The redevelopment authority, so welcome officially to the redevelopment authority, and thanks for all you've done already.
No problem.
Roll call. Josh, can we have a roll call?
Present we have Mr. Sullivan, Ms. Whiteside, Ms. Corbett, Mr. Faraday, and Mr. Butler. Also in attendance we have Attorney Teitelbaum, member of the public Jim Muniz, and the two WRA interns Connor and Emma.
Thank you. I'd like to thank John Day also for being here from Wareham Media to record, videotape today's meeting and make it available to Wareham residents. Thank you, John. Thank you for the good work you do at Wareham Media. You see on the agenda that we want to go straight into an executive session. And Madam Chair of the Select Board, I know you know those magic words to say.
I move that this board go into executive session for reason number 6 under Mass General Law, Chapter 30A, Section 21. To consider the purchase, exchange, lease, or value of real property if the chair declares that an open meeting may have a detrimental effect on the negotiating position of the public body regarding DB Delivery, Mass LLC, known as Doobie, and the Wareham Redevelopment Authority, WRA.
Second.
Okay, thank you, Sarah. All in favor? Hearing no further
Must be a
discussion.
roll
Right?
call.
Let's take a roll call vote on this. Josh, would you do the honors?
Mr. Sullivan? Aye. Mrs. Whiteside?
Aye.
Ms. Corbett?
Aye.
Mr. Butler?
Aye.
And Mr. Faraday, aye.
Okay, the motion passes unanimously, 5-0-0.
You need to declare a need to go into
Yeah, you need
executive
to
session
declare the
for
need.
the reason she read.
So
Okay,
your second line, you just say, the chair declares.
okay.
Chair so declares.
Yeah, the chair so declares that an open meeting may have a detrimental effect on the negotiating position of the public body regarding DB Delivery Massachusetts LLC, otherwise known as Doobie, and the Wareham Redevelopment Authority.
Yeah, the magic words have all been said, so now you ask people who aren't part of the executive session to step outside and close the door.
Okay, Mr. Muniz, would you mind? We'll be about 15 minutes, I think, on this issue.
No.
Again, at Wareham Media, it is now 9:53. We are back in session, regular session for the Redevelopment Authority meeting. I'd like to go right to item B. Presentation update on the inventory of property owners and businesses on Main Street, Wareham Village. Connor, do you and Emma have an update for us on that?
Yeah, we actually have a few slides and we can just run through items B and C
Okay.
on these few
Oh,
slides
good.
here.
Okay, great.
But first, I think Emma wanted to introduce herself to the group for the first time.
Hi, I'm Emma McWilliams. It's really nice to meet you guys. I've been doing the internship here and Connor's been really great teaching me everything. I've already had a lot of chances to get some hands-on experience and learn a lot of new things and put it into practice already. I just graduated from Wareham High, just down the road. I was our class's vice president and the student council vice president and tech secretary, along with a list of other things, just for some background. And I'll be starting at Bridgewater State in the fall. I'll be majoring in business management with a minor in computer science, and I have my eyes open kind of for anything else that might pique my interest. But I'm really excited to kind of have this as something to take experience from and to help the WRA and the town however I can through the internship. So yeah, very excited to be here. Welcome. Thank you. Nice to meet you all.
Thank you very much. Welcome on board.
Thank you.
And with that, we can hop right into the topics.
I'll start us off. We have Connor made a spreadsheet, very
And Emma,
comprehensive.
can you speak up just a little bit, cause I wear hearing
Sorry.
aids and they're not working that well today for some reason.
Sorry about
Sorry
that.
about that.
I tend to talk quiet. Connor made a very comprehensive spreadsheet for all of the properties on downtown. And we took all that information to put together a map, which is shown here through Google Maps. And there's a marker for each of the properties. And it includes, if you click on them, you can have more information about the property name, the address, the owner, and the tenant phone numbers that are on it. It's super easy to navigate it and find everything. There's a drop-down list with the names of all of the locations. So you can kind of freely scroll around, click around, and find all that information. If there's a property in a cluster, you can find all of the names and the contact information for each of the tenants in those description boxes.
So quick question, maybe you already said that. How can we access, like if I wanted to look at this, how can I get to it?
So yeah, I can hop in. It's hosted on our website already, and the link here from the PowerPoint goes to this webpage, and I will just share the link with you all in an email.
Okay.
And it's hosted here.
So the public won't have access to it, but we will.
No, because it's listing people's names and mailing address, so it's hosted on the website just for ease of access, but nobody would be able to access it because it's password protected, and the password for everyone's ears is WRA in capitals.
Okay.
So like Emma explained, here's how you navigate through the map.
Wait, didn't you just tell everybody in Wareham Media World?
Oh no, then we'll be changing it and I'll send you guys a new password.
Okay.
So this is what it actually looks like.
Okay, so I'm sorry, following up on what Sarah asked. So if pick a building that's owned by Joe and it's tenanted by Ralph and Susie.
Yeah,
Can you pick
so
one of those, please?
this would be Wareham Wheat Cluster. We named them after clusters. So you see here, this is where Legacy Insurance is, Wareham Wheat sits, the jug shop, and so we just chose one to name the cluster. This one, for example, is Wareham Wheat Cluster. The street address, owner 213 to 219 Main Street LLC, and then under tenant phone numbers are the different tenants listed out.
And then Connor, this is a good example. If you drill down to 213, 219 Main Street LLC, does that give you more information about the property owner? Because they must be listed in Massachusetts as an
Contact
LLC.
information for the landlord.
Exactly.
Yeah, we have their mailing address. We have the mailing address of everyone.
So that should be included in this database. Can you do that?
We could add it, yeah. I also have everything in an Excel sheet. This is like a ease of access kind of, so everyone can
The
look
battle
and
map.
see.
Yeah, as Whiteside talks
Just
about.
a reminder that anything we create in those databases are a public record.
So it is available to the public at any time. So being password protected while you create it may be appropriate.
Yeah, it's not
It's
a
a
huge deal to open it up.
Yeah, while it's a working document, but when it is finished, it is available to the public.
Okay, I'll
But a
make
lot of
sure
this
that
information is available to the public anyways.
That's correct, that's
Sure.
why it is available, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
good. So that's what this looks
And-
like.
And I
Sure,
was gonna ask you about the second half of the slide here. What is that,
yeah, so since we have mailing
Mailer?
addresses for the property owners, we designed rather a postcard. This is just a arts and crafts draft. So that we could get some feedback from you guys. And this is, like I said, a postcard, so it wouldn't need a forever stamp. The stamps would be a little bit cheaper. Yeah, basically prompting the property owners, first informing them of what the WRA is and what the WRA can do for them. And on the back side, there's a QR code where they would be able to scan with their phone and access this form. which is also hosted on the website.
This is pretty neat. This is Hudson Lake.
This is Hudson.
Hudson Lake and they're reaching out to the property owners.
Like, yeah,
So once they scan the QR code, they would
Basically.
get brought to this webpage on Discover Wareham, where it prompts them for their actual name, email, phone number, and the property address. Here it's a little bit more color copy, but basically listing out the services that we can help them out with and seeing what they're interested in, and then soliciting some general comments from them if they have any.
this is really good. There are some typos,
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
but this is really good. I hope they respond. I've just become frustrated by the lack of interaction with the owners, and I think this is a
Yeah, and I
great
think that
first
I
step.
hear that sentiment from tenants
Yeah.
often too, that the owners are pretty hands off.
But this is definitely worth doing since the only information we have is mailing information.
I would echo what Sarah says. I think, I love the fact that you have the train station on the front because it is something that is available to the public to rent, blah, blah, blah. And you're not highlighting any particular business by doing that. You're highlighting a town amenity. There are lots of places where I would space it a little bit differently, and there are some typos, but
Okay, yeah, let us know
I love the
because-
effort and I think it's really important to get it done.
Mm.
But I would like to know, I would like to know what you think it's gonna cost to mail it.
Yeah, so I have to look up the exact price on the postcard stamps, but we would have 40, I think a little bit above 40 would get sent out, and what is a forever stamp, 74 cents? I think postcard is like in 50-60 cent range. So
Okay,
yeah.
and I'm really old fashioned, so I like to know the street address of somebody who's sending me stuff, cause I don't know how to use a QR code, so
Right, that's a good point.
I would add WRA address, street address.
And an email to reach out to us, you're
Yeah.
right. QR codes are not for everybody.
Okay, yeah, I was between adding a QR code and a link, like just typing out the link. But I opted just for QR code because there's already limited real estate here. But we can rework it so that at least there's an address.
And you do have some spacing things happening over here, so that might get you room to add one more line
Yeah,
on the bottom.
Yep.
Pull this up, et cetera, et cetera.
yeah. And if you wanna talk more about that after,
Mhm.
hear that, so I can put on my graphic design hat. Good, so we can move along there unless anyone has questions, feedback.
No, I like what I've heard. That's great. This is a great initiative. Good work. Ms. Whiteside, this is, I think, partly what you envisioned with the battle map you talked about. And it seems like Connor and Emma are filling it out for us, getting the intelligence we need to be able to make a difference in the future and track down these property owners that we can help
Well, not just the property owners, the business owners.
and the business
Yeah.
owners.
So moving along, I just wanted to update everyone on our Downtown Dollars program. And I will.
I'm sorry, can we go back to the database for a second? When you mentioned
Yeah.
business owners, it kind of struck a thought. We have phone numbers for the businesses,
Mhm.
but we should have the business owners' names and contact info.
Yeah, so the names are on there, it just happened that the example that I put up, the name that's available is the business name, the LLC for that building. But we, based on the feedback that you all just gave us, would add their mailing address as well. Is that what you're saying?
Not just that, whatever we know about them, you know?
Mailing address and name.
If you dive into the LLC filing with the state, it has who the principal is.
Yeah, fair.
Contact them, who your lawyer is.
I don't
But
know
to
that we-
Sarah's point, you wanna make it as simple to use as possible, and if the information is right there and you don't have to dig for it, it's right there and you
Right.
can use it.
So I think they're gonna do the digging, right?
Yeah.
So that you can let us know, Ann Isemanger is the owner of Wareham Wheat.
Mhm.
This is her, she has a business email address where you can reach out to her, because ultimately we want to get also the business owners involved, not just the property owners.
Mhm.
And we're gonna talk about our trip to Hudson later, but just to jump ahead a little bit, that was one of the catalysts to getting their downtown improvement movement going, is that the tenants were really excited by what was going on with the Hudson Business Association, Kendall.
Yeah.
And the movement towards improving the downtown district, and that helped the landlords get involved, so it was somewhat of a ground up situation for getting that, and that took some time, but it was the tenants that were getting really excited about the opportunities presented in the downtown district. So I think that's important.
Yeah, thank you.
And just continue to this, when you send a form letter, if you can say, Dear Miss Corbett or Dear Sarah Corbett, as opposed to Dear resident of 5422 Main Street, you have added something that is harder to ignore. You've already put the personal touch on it, and that I think is really important. If I get something, addressed to resident, pachooey
Yeah,
into the
Not
trash.
even open it.
Yeah.
Good point.
What else do you have there, Connor?
Yeah, so moving along, here is a update on our Downtown Dollars program. So as a quick background or review for everyone, we launched on the day of the Oyster Festival, May 24th. Of this year, the BOGO or the promo that we're running on the cards is a $25 bonus on every gift card purchase of $50 or more. And at launch, we had exactly 8 businesses, and since May 24th, 10 more have joined, and we now offer the card, or the card is able to be used at 18 local businesses.
And they're not just downtown, they're throughout town.
Throughout town, yep.
Thank you.
What is blurred?
Blurred is the barber, do you know the Cumberland Farms on Main Street?
Mhm.
And then there's the ammo shop adjacent to that, it's on like the front side of the ammo shop, I think they opened 3 to 4 months ago.
Yeah, that's one of the things about downtown, I feel, it's really hard to see the businesses, like, what are they?
Yeah, even Google also not so accurate.
So, following up on what Sarah's saying, the thing that we have downtown, the thing that we can post stuff on,
The
Yeah.
bump out
The-
there, the big bump out.
the bump out
In
thing,
front of
the,
Mazzoli.
Mhm.
why can't we put a wayfaring sign there showing more
Of what?
of what we just found?
Downtown dollar stuff?
No,
No.
all of the businesses.
So
But that'd be-
think-
It's not big enough.
Be
No,
tiny.
I'm not I think we're talking about an overall wayfinding signage. That's what we're talking about.
Yep.
Inclusive of when you're driving down from down Sandwich Road across the Narrows, coming into town, we have that bump out in front of Toby, which is prime real estate to have a nice old fashioned signage, something that, because remember, that's a historic district that fits with the historic district, pointing, Toby Hospital to the right, Zako's Marina to the left, anything else like that. And then you're going to have parking, other types of signage throughout. And I think that's one of the big things we've heard from some of the other successful downtown revitalizations is exactly what you said, wayfinding signage.
Actually, I think we're gonna talk a little bit in the agenda, later in the agenda on things like that we could do. So if we could hold that, Connor, what else do you have?
So here are some general stats or metrics. So far, we've sent a total of $1,425 in gifts. Generally, half of those have already been redeemed, which is $625 and change, leaves about $800 that's still purchased and in circulation. We originally allocated $11,200 to give out in the associated fees with the cards, the delivery fees as CFT calls them, and for the $25 bonuses to be issued out. And of those, that original $11,200, we still have $10,639. And the 2 of the top redeemers or outliers, in terms of people actually going in and spending the money are Warren's, who's had almost $200 redeemed there, and Blurred, who has had an even 150 redeemed in store.
Connor, I've seen the posters up in some of the storefronts. Not all of the 18 participating businesses have them up yet, but I walked into one of them, complimented them on having the thing in the window. Briefing from the lady, the owner, at Wildflowers. She bought a card herself, that she uses at the gateway. And what I did notice though is she didn't take the next step to, Dan, why don't you just put your phone up there and go buy one of these cards yourself and spend it here at Wildflowers. I know as you're enlisting these businesses, you're giving them some training. Who are any of them selling these cards themselves? Are they taking advantage of the fact that people walk in and discover them and could even spend the money right there in their establishment?
Yeah, I mean, outside of the conversations that I have with them where they say, oh yeah, this is cool, I'll explain this to my customers, I'm not a fly on the wall there watching them like do their sale at the cash register. But explaining to them when I go in what the program is, especially on first meeting, then I would come back with the marketing materials, which right now is the poster. Explain to them here is supposed to be customer facing. If they're interested in it, prompt them to scan the QR code. And I guess we will move on. This is relevant for marketing materials. I think a gap, you could say, for getting the word out is in these restaurants. So we can see that there's interest to spend this at restaurants like Warren's. You had mentioned the Gateway, but I think that having a poster up in one corner of the restaurant isn't like maximizing.
Amen.
Yeah.
Do I see one of these
Yeah.
materials you're about to
Yeah,
talk
so
about?
for the restaurants here, I wanted to, you guys can just pass it along. But here are like the marketing materials to date. And so this is my arts and crafts table tent that I want to get printed out for restaurants and larger spaces. And here's like just a summary of how we've been promoting so far. So here's the poster. Back here is the pamphlet or little handout that I give to people when I go and introduce the program to them. This has all like FAQs and stuff that anyone who is joining the program would want to see.
Can you buy those online?
And here we
WRA.
This is what they have on the counter.
Facebook posts from select board member.
Can buy the plastic
And
things.
we also did a pop-up on the website
So
that shows up on people's first visit, and the original business cards that we handed out at the Oyster Festival too.
So Connor, real quick, just because in case anybody's watching or, you know, we've got an actual crowd today. The value of these, the value is kind of twofold. One, it's the customer that gets the discount. And then the business just gets the business. So it's not like you're not covering any of the cost to the business, it's the customer that's getting the value, correct?
Yeah, exactly. So customer side, we agreed the WRA to cover the service fees, the delivery fees, the $1 plus 5% on every card, and this is to motivate the sales, and then we motivate it even further by offering a free $25. But yeah, I guess to your point, other than it being at no cost to the business, there's no dollar incentive on their end,
Okay.
other than capturing the business, like you
Right,
said.
no, not a bad thing, our goal is to revitalize the downtown, so we're trying to drive people to the area and other areas in the town as well, so. I just wanna make sure that everybody understands, it's not like we're paying the businesses.
Yeah, to join. We're also not getting paid out from it, which is what I semi-lead with when I go in and talk to business. Hey, we're not trying to take funds from this, we don't get any money, it doesn't cost you anything, it's really just to spur business in the community.
Thank you.
You and I ran into each other in the hallway a couple or so ago. You talked about an ad in Wareham Week. Can you talk a little bit about that? I thought that was a great idea.
Yeah, I mean, we can do an ad. Wareham Week has their rates posted, it's just another opportunity. We can also run Facebook ads for Facebook and Instagram. The table tents, it's also in the same vein, there are a lot of options, we just need to
Yeah, I think having something like the table tent at a point of sale by the cash register is gonna be something that people see.
Yeah.
They have to go there and pay.
Yeah, and we're trying to mix it up, so these original posters that I got printed out, we won't be using that design again, we're gonna try and improve it, use different marketing materials. So
How big are the posters?
they're 8.5 by 11.
Okay,
They
so
were
they're
in
not-
that little packet, no.
Yeah.
That's what this is, right?
Just like
Yeah.
that, okay.
So with regard,
Maybe
Yeah.
if I could follow up on Sarah's comment. Let's say that table tent at a restaurant in town, somebody clicks on it with their phone and they buy a card.
Yeah.
Do you have any way of tracking where it was purchased? Probably not.
where it was actually purchased, no, because I guess people could do it at their home. And yeah, it would have their home address
If you
or
put an
something
ad in the
like that.
paper, same thing, you wouldn't know that it came from the paper.
No.
I'm just wondering how
But
we
we
would,
would hopefully see an uptick.
Yeah,
alright, so we'd have to
draw your own
Yeah.
conclusion based on,
do thing that we use to market the program.
So do we need a motion to allow Connor to design something, to bring it to us and spend the money?
I don't think so. We've authorized, well, actually, we're about to authorize Josh to make those expenditures on behalf of the WRA, so I would think modest investments in this overall marketing program that we authorized a while back now, up to the tune of $12,000.
Oh, okay.
And you've already created some great marketing materials. This is impressive.
Mhm.
I would think that if you decide, if you and Josh think an ad in the paper is a good idea, go ahead and get it. And then track if we're getting an uptick after it shows up in the paper.
And it doesn't have to be just Wareham Week.
Could be Sipican Week.
Could be Sipican. She also has Nemasket Week, so it's in Middleborough.
Maybe
Got
do
6, I
one-
think.
Maybe do 1 week in,
I think she has 6, actually. Yeah.
yeah, she does. Maybe do 1 week, Wareham Week, 1 week Sipican Week, and see where the upticks happen. It'd be interesting to get that kind of feedback.
yeah,
Uh,
definitely.
And so the material to create the tent, what's that gonna be? Where are you gonna go to have that
I got
produced?
quoted at Gateway Printing, right across from Cumberland Farms on Main Street, I think that's what it's called, Gateway.
It is.
He quoted me at $145 for 25 table tents, or they could do 50 table tents for $180.
And I will tell you from doing my shopping for other things that he's the cheapest.
Yeah,
Is he-
that's
He's
what I
cheaper
heard.
than another
And he's
couple
local.
of businesses in town.
Yeah,
Yeah, I would think, geez, for an extra $35, getting 50 of them would
Yeah.
be good.
Yeah.
You could use 30 of them in Warren's Harborview all by itself.
yeah.
I
You got a
don't,
bunch of other participating businesses with it that could use it.
I don't know if you'll think it's worthwhile, but we also have on the Big Belly solar trash compactors, there's a advertising space on the side of those, so they can, the same company can do the same markup. You can slide it right in there,
Oh, yeah,
you know.
that's
That's a
great.
really good idea.
Yeah,
So,
frequency and
idea.
reach.
Absolutely.
Good idea. All right, Connor, Emma, anything else on
Does he have to go?
downtown dollars or?
So downtown dollars, just an update, so that's a decent chunk of change that we still have left there to promote the buy one, get one. Just wanted to review that the promotion is on 12 months, so May 24th, 2026 is when the promotion would end. So we still have a decent amount of time to continue to promote the program, holiday season, things like that. But whatever is left at the end is refundable to the WRA at 10% of the remaining funds, so it's a motivation to keep on running through this money.
Is this something, since it's a government agency that could run as a screen on Wareham Media? Could we create something that could just be there?
Public service announcement?
Yeah, like a PSA for. Do we need permission from someone to grant us that ability? And technically, how do we do it?
Why don't I explore that with someone from
Connor could
Wareham
ask
Media
them.
after the
Okay.
meeting?
Great, thank you.
All right, Connor, what else?
Good, so on the agenda was also a website update.
Yeah.
So just a general kind of update over the past 3 months from April to the end of June, we had a 40% increase in visits to the site. I think a big driver of this was the Oyster Festival and the landing page that we did. Lorna had promoted that in the week or so leading up to the Oyster Festival, and on the day of, I guess just for reference, our baseline for views is like 450-ish per day. And on the day of the Oyster Festival, we had well above 1,000 views on that day. So that was a good spike. Seasonal interest as well. Summertime, more people in town, more people looking for things to do. Yeah, and also outreach from downtown dollars. That's pushing to the website as well. So while there is an increase in site visits, I have evidence to support that the engagement quality is kind of declining on the website. So the pages per visit went down from almost 2 pages to 1.5 pages per visitor. So small decline, and session duration also fell again. This has been happening for the past few months. Fell from 40 seconds to 28 seconds, which indicates that users are getting to the site but not exploring different pages as deeply as before.
So we're lacking a stickiness, if you will.
Exactly, yeah.
But I mean, what in general are our realistic expectations for the website? I mean, I think the improvements you have made were necessary and they were excellent, and we should continue to make sure that it is accurate, up to date, and timely. But it's not like, you know, USA Today homepage. It's not something that people are gonna visit all the time and hang out with.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, we are, I guess this brings us into the next topic that when I was compiling the analytics for the website, we can see the most visited pages. It's always the homepage because that's where people end up, and then the next 2, 3, 4 kind of interchange. Restaurants is really popular, and now with the summer season coming around, being Emma and I noticed that the beaches and boat ramps page was getting more visits. And when you actually go to the webpage, this is how it looked, which is not so
nice.
pretty. Yeah, like low res photos.
Yeah, but what nice was the pop-up. That was really nice.
Oh.
Yeah. So this is the current state of the beaches and boat ramps page, is that what you're saying?
This is the previous state.
Previous, okay.
And Emma can speak to the updates that we made to the webpage.
So I kind of went in and we updated that page instead of this sort of broken page that is just pictures and it doesn't align with the descriptions of them, very long to scroll through. It is now loop carousels, so as you can kind of see, there's 3 beaches in a row, and you can cycle through all of the beaches in town as a picture, the name, and just a little description of it to kind of give a little bit of a local touch, some interest to it, rather than just this is where it's located. And in the middle of the page is a map with all of the beaches and boat ramps, and the kind of pulsing little blue dots are markers, and they have a name for each of the beaches. And then you have the boat ramps underneath that, which follows the same kind of layout as the beaches, where you can scroll through. There's a little description, and they are both included in that map. It's just broken up. But it's a much shorter page, a lot easier to navigate, and it should help boost engagement, that it's just a lot more user-friendly, a lot more pleasing to the eye, and hopefully helps people find what they're looking for. So.
Are you live now with this?
It is. I just for simplicity's sake of presenting it, the old one is still live, just so I could pull up the link. But after this meeting, I'm gonna replace everything and take the old page down.
This is definitely 1,000 times
Oh,
better.
yeah,
Yeah, it's really nice.
very nice.
However, if you have Little Harbor Beach on there, that is residents only, and that needs to be noted, or
Oh, yeah.
else take it off.
But just note it, yeah, I
Yeah.
agree. And you
Yeah,
should
note it.
note what's public and what's
Right.
residents only. And could we put somewhere on here, cause it's possible for people to get a 1-day beach pass?
Right, that's what I think,
Yeah.
you're nailing it. We should have a list to our viewpoint sticker system so
Right.
they can order them or how to get them, so create sort of a link through.
Is it only for Swift's Beach? Or is it Little Harbor as
there's-
well and Onset Harbor?
Little Harbor does offer certain day one.
Only
for
to
the-
residents.
Right, so.
Only to
For
residents.
like if you have
Yeah,
guests.
so there's certain.
So there's no one-day beach pass to any, okay, what are the beaches that you have access to if you get a one-day beach pass?
You gotta get Gary in for that one. I stay well clear of it because it's a nightmare.
Yeah, no doubt. So a neighbor told me it was only Swift's Beach,
It's,
which I was surprised. I frankly didn't even know that I could go to Swift's Beach. So,
Yeah, that's good. We can even make some money off that, the town can. And how about marinas? Is that what these little sailboats are? Like,
Those would be boat ramps, so we actually didn't, so for example, Zekos wouldn't be on there.
can you add?
Yeah, we definitely could.
A lot of mariners would like to know, or I've seen
Is this
people
on
starting
the
to pull up
town's main
today's.
webpage?
No.
That's, I think that's where your link needs to go from. So when
Yeah,
people go to the
that's a good idea.
town, what to do in town, where to go, how to get there.
that's a
Not
good
bury
idea.
it down in WRA, not trying to, it has to be visible.
Yeah, I know it was on the old website.
It was.
Yeah, but I would have to look and probably talk with IT about getting some more visibility on the main page.
so the only other caveat would be you have Mako's up there, which is a private business. And all of the others you have identified by a location. I think we have to be very careful about spotlighting one business and not everybody else who has whatever.
Yeah.
So I would change the name on that one maybe. I mean, you have it as a location, so there's no problem about that, but again, I would ask you to change that or think about it.
Okay.
So did you find out what you get access to if you buy a one-day beach pass?
I am going to read you the 37 options that we have. Alright, beach parking fees. $15 resident beach sticker allows residents to park at Swiss Neck, Swiss Beach, Little Harbor, Shell Point, and along South Boulevard into Onset. That's a lowercase Onset, should be upper, to include Onset boat ramp parking. $5 senior, that's the same privileges as a resident beach. $50 non-resident, only good for Swiss Beach and Onset boat ramp. $50 guest placard allows residents to purchase a hanging placard to allow their guest parking at Little Harbor. Swiss Beach and Swiss Neck only must be purchased at the time of the beach sticker. That's interesting, cause it's $50 Tempest Knob season. So I'm wondering if that's what they're doing for the Airbnb stuff on there, so I'll double check with Gary, but you have $10 Swiss Beach day pass may be purchased in the office,
Okay,
so.
must be what she's talking about.
It sounds like a hyperlink to that is all you need.
Yeah.
You wouldn't wanna recreate it all. What else? Emma, Connor?
That's it from the internship side. I just wanted to point out my bad pun on the webpage. Re-ramp instead of revamp for beaches and boat ramps.
Oh, very nice.
That's it.
That college
Like
degree
it.
was well worth it.
Minor in puns.
Anybody have any other questions for Connor or Emma regarding the webpage, the downtown dollars? Discover Wareham dollars?
No, I have to speak. I wasn't sure what the etiquette was. So speaking as a business owner, again, speaking about business owner with boots on the ground, it's pretty difficult to remember to sell downtown dollars, and I'm someone who actively supports it. I think trying to get business owners to try to sell it at the point of sale is going to be very, very difficult because it's always going to be secondary to the customer trying to get sale. It's just, it's difficult for me, and I'm there, much less employees. I think are you on any Facebook sites or any there's 5 or 6 different Wareham Matters, are we posting to any of those, or are people aware of that on there, or?
Yeah, so we have a Discover Wareham Facebook page.
Yeah.
I posted to a lot of the groups from that page promoting the program. We also had Joe Still
Yeah, I saw that,
post
yeah.
to a few of the groups and to his own personal page, and that was pretty receptive. I definitely saw an uptick in sales after that. But
We
yeah.
talked about Facebook ads, which
Yeah.
we didn't discuss as a group. And just to clarify, what I meant by point of sale is just simply marketing materials right by the register.
Yeah, yes,
When I said point of sale, I wasn't saying then you guys sell it.
No, I that's what I'm getting at, cause I'm thinking like for me, and this is, I'm actively aware of it, but I just forget, you know, you think of all these other things going on, and hell, I have that flyer from you and I haven't put it up yet, and like it's just went into a drawer with everything else that I'm taking care of, like, along with like the 20 musicians and
Yeah.
so I was thinking actually of if there's a way, like most businesses have a marketer. I wonder if we talk to those businesses that have a marketer and have them do a, not at the same day, but like a blast saying, hey, or even just the owner, like to all these groups saying, hey, we are now part of this program. If you join this, you know, free money to you, help downtown. And if you do it repeatedly using all these, and you know, there's more, you know, I'm not a marketer, so I don't know, but how they would do that. But basically, if they can blast it to like the 20 different Wareham groups, you're hitting like 90% of Wareham.
Mhm.
At least the people who would have the bandwidth to actually go online and buy it anyway. Plus, the ad's already there. Versus someone who is like after, I mean, at most restaurants, after a few drinks and you wait, you just don't have the mental thing to be like, hey, even though this is instant free money to me, I'm gonna click on this, and
Yeah.
people just want to pay and get out of there. So I
don't
feel
know,
like
I tend to buy more after a few
well, you buy more drinks, but you're not gonna go online and be like, I mean, you maybe
It's
will.
getting out of like your spending habit or
Right.
your own.
Right, and
That's also something that I think that we run into is that the people,
Yeah.
like the free $25.
Yeah.
It's so just taking that extra step is free money. It can't motivate people to like go out of there and have it.
Right. And I think that's why getting like businesses in there, like, cause you're lending their way to like, hey, I'm a business, I'm a part of this is
Yeah.
real. And also the thing about that is once they see it, ideally you want someone to see something 3 times. So like if they see it once, they see it again, and like when they go to the bathroom, like they'll flyer, then you go to the point of sale and you're staying at the bar thinking, oh look, this flyer is
Yeah.
right there. And ideally it's clicked enough times that they'll be willing to do it at some point. Ideally they do it right away, you know, they say, hey, look at this, and you know, grab it while you can, and if nothing else, they'll be sitting there grabbing their meal at Warren's and be like, oh, look at this, and click.
Yeah, Kendall, thank you for promoting the program and being one of the original 18 participating merchants. That'd be a good thing for you guys offline to talk some more about,
Yeah.
through, you know, the business association. You've got how many members now?
Almost 50, I think,
That'd
even
be a
more,
great
I still have to
plug-in.
update the list register.
That'd be a great plug-in, Connor, for you and Emma to talk to the members of that association to see if you could do other things like Kendall's
Yeah.
described.
I think a coordinated attack would probably be, if it's hit like every like 3-4 days and you just throughout the summer, I think it's people start seeing it more and more and more, and it starts to gain traction. And that can be shared with multiple, it can be shared with like the WBA can share each post, and like you guys can share each post, and you know, and like I got being a visual can share a post, and like you share it enough times.
Considered,
Yeah, right.
Yes, thank you. We're gonna have to move on in the interest of time. Anything else critical we ought to get out in front of the group today, Connor?
I think we're good.
I'm gonna jump around a little bit because there are a couple of things here that we absolutely have to make sure we accomplish today.
I move that we authorize Mr. Farady, Director of Planning, to sign and submit bills on behalf of the WRA in amounts not to exceed $5,000.
Right to where I was going. Okay. So far, we have a clean sweep. Judith Whiteside and Sarah Colbert have motioned and seconded everything today. Any further discussion? This is exactly what we did for Ken, and it worked well. It allowed the machinery in your office to move quickly without having to wait 2 weeks for this group to meet. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, Josh, you are authorized to use your WRA credit card up to the amount of $5,000 to do things like we just talked about, put an ad in the paper, for example, if you think it's wise.
I move to authorize the WRA to collaborate with the town and for management and oversight of certain WRA revitalization projects or initiatives, and authorize spending up to and no more than $7,500, which would be supplementing compensation to the Director of Planning, Mr. Josh Farady, for his work on WRA meetings, and also entering into a contract with Kenneth Buckland to perform consulting services with the WRA and other proposals. to provide appropriate expertise and staffing to advance WRA projects and initiatives.
Okay, and so that would, you seconding?
Second, but I know we are, some reasons just shut down at 11, but I would like to learn more about this.
Okay, I can elaborate a little bit on, first of all, Josh's supplemental compensation. It's been our custom, because the director of planning has spent a lot of time, not on town business, but on WRA business during the course of a typical week, to supplement the salary for the director of planning. I think it was $7,500 last year for Ken, am I correct, Terry?
Correct.
Yeah, it's been for the last several years since he's joined
Okay,
us.
so that's been our-
7,500, there's been no inflationary or COLA attached to it.
Okay, and I know, Josh, you can't vote on this, but I personally feel it's a good use of our resources. It's appropriate, given the focus that Director of Planning does put on WRA initiatives that are exclusive of town business.
And he does it on his time, not on town time. So this is an additional time outside of his normal responsibilities for Director of Planning.
All in favor, I am all in favor of that, but it's also folded into
Right,
that
so
we're
why
gonna
don't,
enter into a contract with Ken Buckland.
why
Do
don't
you want
we
me to break,
they
separate
should
the
be
two?
separated out, yeah.
Separate, I'll make,
Yeah, let's separate the two.
let me
Yeah.
withdraw my motion.
Okay,
Try your second.
you have a
I
new
withdraw my
motion?
second.
Okay, I move to authorize the expenditure of $7,500 in annual compensation supplement to the Director of Planning, Mr. Josh Faraday, for his work on WRA matters, which work will be done not on town time.
Second,
Seconded by Sarah Corbett, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And Josh, you're not voting, so the vote is 4-0-1.
And I move to enter into a contract with Kenneth Buckland to perform consulting services with the WRA on behalf of the WRA and other proposals to provide appropriate expertise and staffing to advance WRA projects and initiatives.
second for discussion. I would like a little more insight on that. Poor man, just, we won't let him retire.
Yeah, I think what you're looking at is there's a couple projects that are still being run, but as part of this, you probably want an hourly rate. Who's responsible for working with sort of Mr. Buckland, so it's not a blank, you know,
At
hey, we
65,
hired
yeah.
you.
At $65 an hour and with a limit of $10,000 per fiscal year.
And then do you want who should be sort of the through point? Is it you, Mr. Chairman?
Well, I think Ken should work for Josh, wouldn't you?
I think Josh would love the turnabout being fair play, so.
Because Josh will ultimately be the train conductor deciding what Ken needs to spend time on or what Ken has the expertise to help with.
So our best return on investment for those for what we're trying to seek. I think some of this is with the roles for the all the different grants and a couple different things that we're working on, so.
Right. Yeah, there are quarterly updates that have to be filed. Ken's got people on speed dial that he can call to get updates at request.
So he's finishing off some of the things that we already have entered into, for instance, the park grant for Lopes. He's following up on that in terms of, and that's a
Coastal
$100,000
pathway,
rebate to us when we finish up all the paperwork.
Mhm.
So the other things that he has already been involved in and might continue to because of his contacts.
So while we're having this discussion, I would respectfully ask, include myself in that any requests to Mr. Buckland go through Mr. Faraday. So it's not the five of us reaching out and then suddenly we've spent $10,000 because five of us are asking the same question.
Yeah.
That was part of my motion.
That sounds
Okay.
sensible to me.
Okay, thank you for the
You
explanation.
agree with that, Josh?
Makes sense, yep.
Okay. All right, I think that would be money well spent. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion to allocate up to $10,000 at $65 an hour according to the contract that has been reviewed by Mr. Titlebaum to retain Mr. Buckland's services on various projects that Josh will assign. All in favor?
Then we're authorizing him to sign this, just reminding that his signing limit usually is 7,500. There's a contract up to 10,000, so you may just have to sign it, Mr. Chairman, to execute the contract.
Okay, or we can authorize Josh to do that with this motion.
Right, I just don't wanna kick back from accounting or anything like that, and
Would you like to
it's
add
held
that
up.
to your motion?
And that is part of my motion that Mr. Farady is specifically authorized to sign the contract between Mr. Buckland and the WRA, which will not exceed $10,000 at $65 an hour on work done only on the WRA, for the WRA.
So Ken's compensation for working with us is higher than Josh's, which is interesting. Okay. All in favor, whoever, we're moving on.
You seconded that, right?
Yeah, I
I
did.
was
Yeah.
just digesting your comment.
Do you wanna change the previous motion where Josh can vote against his
I'm sure Josh took note of that comment just now. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
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 Opposed? Hearing none, motion passes. And Josh, would you please let Mr. Buckland know that we would like to retain his services?
Just, I'll do.
And you're in charge of putting Mr. Buckland to work. Thank you.
Good.
Could we
Ms.
maybe,
Whiteside, if I could start jumping around on the agenda.
yeah,
Um,
I was thinking maybe I, because Kendall's here.
You know, that's a great suggestion. Let's go to item 5. Discussion and possible vote on a proposed trial pop-up farmers market / artisans bazaar at the old train depot Merchants Way. Potential WRA grant support to help advertise / promote, launch, oversee, and evaluate the trial. And making this presentation is Mr. Kendall Peabody, President of the Wareham Business Association. And Kendall, thank you. I got copies of your proposal here. Let me pass these out.
I have copies.
You have one?
I'll just send them down.
Thank you. Okay, let me give folks a couple of minutes to digest them. Proposal here, Kendall, if you don't mind.
Here's addressing people from
Anybody here? Let's give one of these to the Connor. You guys will show. Your extras. Okay, I'll do a little bit of a preamble on this. I want to thank Sarah Corbett and Ms. Whiteside, because I think they are the reason why we're at this point in being able to mature our efforts to revitalize downtown Wareham Village, and particularly the other side of the village there, Merchants Way. Ms. Corbett, as I think all of us will recall, discovered this thing called pop-ups. And actually Derek also
Yeah.
discovered the artist shanties,
Yeah.
which prompted us to start investigating this kind of an effort. And as we heard in one of the previous
Just
meetings.
gentrified it.
As we heard in one of our previous meetings from somebody who organized pop-ups, these can be a lot of fun. They get a lot of the community engaged, and they revitalize the neighborhood. They can help the local merchants. So we talked also about farmers markets and artisan bazaars, and we've also talked about doing something that Barney Frank, I think, told Ms. Whiteside one day.
Some time ago.
Use what you got. And we talked about that being the old train depot, which we have, which is frankly not being used very much. So I think this proposal scratches a few of those itches that we've already talked about in previous meetings, Mr. Peabody. So I appreciate you coming here as a representative for the president of the WBA, and I'm curious to hear what your proposal is.
should I wait for Judith to get back, or should I just start, or?
Oh, you can go.
Alright, so basically, this has been something we've been talking about for a while, and I wanted to do something like this because it kind of combines the effort of helping revitalize Wareham while also showcasing a lot of Wareham, farms and artisans, so I was jumping around town, and I settled on the the Wareham like train depot, because I honestly think that view of Merchants Way is one of the best views of Wareham. And it also has benefit being right next to Main Street, so you can kind of do multi-thing. With this proposal, we're essentially doing 3 things at once, where we're providing an avenue to showcase local farmers and Wareham and craft vendors. We're cleaning up a portion of Wareham we wanna do anyway, which also in turn leads to 3, the fact that these downtown Main Street businesses can have a subsequent benefit from this pop-up, because they're in the same avenue, so like we're kind of helping multiple people at once. In addition to that, I think that by providing an avenue for these local businesses to sort of eventually be a part of this and have them kind of be around for it, they kind of have an extra incentive to keep their area clean and to keep their self tidy, because they in turn can benefit in the future from this farmers market and artisan pop-up. I'm pretty acquainted with these. I've been around most of them, so I spent some time researching, look at them, see the best ones, and I want to start small here. So, looking at the train depot, it looks like we can fit about 8 local vendors or surrounding town vendors. I've talked to a couple of people who may be interested, like with the local honey person who comes by the brewery, and he was ecstatic, and he told me that most farmers and artisan people would be really ecstatic for this project. Looking at the cost, it's actually pretty minimal too. Like I noticed that we could provide to clean up the area is generally around 3,000, but we can actually, that's relatively scalable. We could probably do for a portion. It wouldn't be as nice, like these are putting up pots and pans, make it look like something worth going to. We could scale it down. We also could eventually, if we really wanted to in the future, if I come back here after this initial program, the cleaning up the whole area would probably be, some estimates say around 8,000-9,000, maybe up to 10, but.
Could you describe what you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like where?
So for the train depot, we're looking at about 1,500 to clean up the additional area, provide flowers, general landscaping, seed removal. This is around the train depot itself.
Right, are we talking about this side of the tracks, like?
Yeah, we're not crossing over to the other
Right.
side for several reasons, but it's
Yeah.
just in the general area of it, and we'll down just to make that area nice and beautiful for this project. It can be, if it's a success and after the initial 6 weeks, we could come back and say, do we want to expand? If there's a lot of demand for it and there's a lot of business who want to be part of it, we can at that point look at it and be like, do we want to expand it down? Do we want to start moving down the but we can see how the initial review is, see how people like it, if it's worth our time. But in the meantime, it allows us to start to clean up the general area and help to showcase the area. And also help to use the train depot a little bit.
So to get this estimate, did you contact a professional landscaper?
I had people who knew stuff better than I do contact them too, because that way they can understand it better than me, and that's what they got back to me with.
Okay.
Estimates are estimates, as anyone who's ever dealt with contractors are.
Mhm.
They feel relatively reasonable with that.
Did they provide a written one?
No, I would dig for that.
Okay, I would just, I understand sort of broad concept, I'm just
Yeah.
trying to figure out, am I paying somebody $1,000 to weed whack or something like that? You know what I mean?
Right,
It's
yeah.
just, let's sort of see what we're talking about.
Where's the area? I'm sorry, the area goes from the sewer pumping station to the end, or
This is just around the train
just around the
station.
train station
Yeah.
itself?
Yeah.
So,
That's too much
And so
money.
did you measure,
That's way too much money.
like in terms of the
Landscape.
no, well, it's,
vendors that could come?
Yeah, so we checked it out, and that was the estimate that we could fit 8 vendors in there.
Okay,
So-
just to sort of circle back, just when getting your cost estimates, think about it this way. If the originations from the funds are coming from the WRA, you need to do prevailing wage.
Yeah.
If you guys are paying for it on your own as a gift to the community, that's non-prevailing wage on municipal property. If it's a gift on there, sort of that can be non-prevailing wage. But anything that the origination comes from our funds and on town property, that's sort of that's your test right there. Then you're talking prevailing wage. So prevailing wage is going to skyrocket your costs.
Right. The other thing that you have,
It's, sorry, the old union guy.
What's labor, like $35 an hour?
Yeah, so it's good.
Prevailing wage, so it's not a kill, it kills the project.
So for me, when I see, I'm seeing like Jim, when we're getting him, it's $65-70,
yeah.
but that's more other trades and stuff like that, so straight labor, you're probably.
so there's another thing that you need to add in there. You have to have 1 day of insurance for WBA. 1 day insurance, like liability insurance, et cetera, naming the town.
So I, from my understanding, and I could be incorrect, if the train depot is provided for free, no actual insurance is required for use of it.
No,
Is-
No.
if that's my understanding.
It
I
is
think-
required
Yeah.
for use of town property at all times. And then the other thing, I don't know whether you talked about this, if you're gonna have live music, you're gonna have to have an entertainment license, which is granted by the select board.
Yeah, so there won't be, for our initial run, there won't be music to start out with. We'll start off with just the vendors and prove that concept first. I'm not gonna start adding music and start to add layers until we can confirm we can actually process, get through the first process of it. That's when you start to say, okay, what can be added, how can it grow? You wanna do it all at once, cause then it just then you have too much you're trying to handle.
Judith, what would happen if street musicians just show up and start playing their music there like they do on Main Street sometimes? Do we shoo them away, or how's that work?
When you have entertainment that you have provided for, you are required to have
But if you
an
haven't,
entertainment license.
so if it wasn't provided by the WBA, but some young kid shows up and plays his guitar, that
I don't know if black vans are gonna show up and decide whisk them away, but
what if food trucks show up?
so food trucks, no, do require licensing. So if they're showing up on their own, there's a certain licensing process and be able to vend on town property.
So if they're licensed, like Adobe's licensed in the town,
Right, so
If
they
they
have
show
to
up,
have,
they can just park right
It's a
there?
state license.
right,
on
theirs
one of
is the
these
state, the
Saturdays?
county, but they can't vend on town property,
They cannot,
vend on town property,
Without a license.
right?
but if they're
That they get
licensed,
from the town.
Right,
Right.
there's
It's a
there's
separate
two
thing.
separate ones,
Board of
yeah,
Health.
yeah, so.
but if they are licensed, they can vend on town property.
Only if they are licensed by the Board of Health in this town. They are licensed by the Commonwealth of Massachusetts,
Right, so if
as
they've been
vendors,
licensed, no,
but
that
they
was my
have to
question.
have a license as well
Okay,
from
that
the
was
Board
my-
of Health.
Do we have any,
There's two separate things.
Right.
There's the license to be able to do that within the confines of the town of Wareham,
Right.
the borders,
Which is what
on
they have.
private property.
Right, which is what they have.
Right, but on town property,
That's why I'm saying they have to go to the Board of Health.
right, well, it's not just Board of Health, we need to permit
Right.
them to.
Right, but I'm saying that just because they are licensed as food vendors by the Commonwealth, they have to, there are many more steps,
I'm just thinking, this is not part of your proposal, but I'm just thinking ahead. If this catches fire, takes off, there are people showing up down there, the place is getting cleaner, it's getting exciting, it's a pop-up. Food trucks see an opportunity, and they are licensed with the Wareham Board of Health.
I'll reach out to the town of Wareham,
Right.
to myself, to be able to be permitted on town property.
So they have to get a permit for that day.
Right, correct.
Okay.
so
I think we should focus our conversation on,
And that's,
Yeah.
and God bless them, Dan, let's hope that happens.
yeah, right, that's a down the
Right.
road
Right.
situation.
I'm just highlighting that I think this is a modest proposal, although I can foresee this hopefully catching fire, but it seems pretty modest to me.
Well, I think it's pretty ambitious in terms of the number of dates and the timeline between then and now. So,
Keep in mind that there isn't really, if you think about it, there isn't really a lot of number of steps to get from point A to point B. Like a cleanup can happen relatively quickly. Like adding pots and and making it look nice and presentable is relatively a couple day job once it's set up. The processing for permits and all that is relatively quick. And getting the vendors is pretty fast. I haven't even talked to anyone really about this, and I already
that
know
was
people.
gonna be my question, how are you gonna do the outreach?
So for that, since we have a network now, I was going to hit up a couple different networks. Ideally I want to start off small and so as like a test run with people in town, so that way we can run this, as essentially a soft opening, for lack of a better word, and then we can slowly grow out. I'm not thinking any vendors isn't really a lot. I already have like 3 or 4 that are like just barge down the door and they say other people are interested in town, so I would send out something through the WBA members saying if anyone's interested, these are stipulations, these are things,
And they supply their own tables and tents?
they would have, so like they would provide their own tables and tents. I thought I went back and forth on that, but that's a great way to reduce costs, I thought, and everyone has a table for a pop-up, so they provide their own tables, tents, most of the proceeds actually go to paying for a DECA volunteer to help run this, so that way it's self-contained, I don't have to worry about one of our members having to run it, they can just contain it
And
themselves.
you reached out to DECA, it's summertime, I mean,
Yeah, I
it sort of doesn't exist right now.
Yeah, I talked to DECA, and there's a few candidates in mind, I talked to Connor and talked to a few other
Okay.
people, so there's a few people in mind that it wasn't worth really pressing until we get through, this is one of couple of steps, but until we hit this step, I didn't wanna say, hey, by the way, is this, if it didn't it wasn't going to be a reality,
I think there's one other question that I would ask you to answer. My understanding is that advertising a local farmer's market requires specific things. In other words, 90% of your produce has to in fact come from local. I believe that's the definition. But would you please research that before you advertise as a farmer's market? And I would just throw out to you, not to pour water on it, but Makepeace had one of these for years and they gave it up. And when Makepeace gives something up, it means that they're not making money on it.
So the thing you have to keep in mind is the WBA doesn't need to or want to make money off this. The idea is it helps us showcase the Wareham vendors. And you know what, if it doesn't work out for them, it doesn't work out for them. You know what, I don't mind trying something and failing because
I'm not suggesting that, I'm just being,
I know.
I'm suggesting that the paperwork that you actually have to go through. And I'm following up on what Ms. Corbett has said. I think your August 16th and maybe even your August 23rd dates are very, very, very tough to make, I'm guessing. So I would maybe start with August 3rd and give yourself a little bit of time so that you don't fail because you haven't had enough time to prepare.
So is there a list of things that we can come up with, or maybe you've already come up with it, that you need to get in line in order to launch successfully? Like what kind of licenses from us would he need? Or from us?
Use of town property. He has to provide proof of insurance to get that.
Are we sure about that? I don't mind, I could be wrong, but I heard from a number of sources that if it's provided for free, it's
I'm going to tell you flat out, if somebody drives their car through that farmer's market, the town is gonna get its pantsuit off. You will require
fair enough.
insurance. That's gonna be my decision.
So,
Okay.
That's fair, and that can be provided,
Good to know. I will-
And it's
wait.
per day, so each time that you do this, again, I'm familiar with the process. Each time you get the 1-day insurance, it's gonna probably cost you $1,000. That's my guesstimate, and I can tell you that's based on experience. So each time you had a separate date, you'd have to come up with $1,000 and proof of insurance to give to Mr. Sullivan.
when I researched it a little bit myself, I even with liquor, which obviously we wouldn't have here, it was only a couple of hundred per day. It was around $235, I think, and that was with liquor, which obviously we're not gonna have, so.
Do you have directors and officers insurance for WBA? Do you have insurance for your entity?
I don't.
And a quick question, Wareham Land Trust, when they used the old train depot, did they indemnify the town?
It's usually part of the whole application process.
So
To use the depot?
Right, yeah, cause we want to be indemnified for everything.
For everything.
So if they indemnified the town, they got their own insurance, presumably?
Yes,
They just
So-
had to prove to you that they had it.
they send the rider
Uh-huh.
Okay.
So we are named as an additional assured on it. Or
for that one day or whatever day.
So for the purposes of trying to get these pop-ups, these farmer markets going, if your estimate's close, yours is low, maybe yours is high perhaps, but if insurance for a one-day farmer's market's $1,000, it's not gonna be a money-making endeavor. But it could revitalize downtown. That's what the real objective is here.
Yeah.
Just like downtown Discovered Dollars, we gave $12,000 away for that. It sounds to me like you need maybe $1,000 for insurance, $1,540 for advertising. And I say that because Connor just told us table tents are $180 for 50. So the 600 looks a little high. And then for the cleanup, could you get away with, I don't know, just calling up a local dump guy that can bring his truck, throw all the bags of trash in there and take it to the barn and dump? What does that cost?
This is what I'm trying to figure out. What is the cleanup?
So
Well, if you've been down there lately, it's still nips, it's still
Right,
plastic
no, I've seen it
bottles.
through that, so what is the
I think
cleanup?
that's mainly
Why is
what it
this
is.
something, I appreciate, but I'm just trying to figure out why wouldn't I have just, we run through with the town staff with the type of things that we have?
Can we get that kind of commitment to do that?
It's a one-day operation, but we're not sending across the tracks, we're not going onto the tracks or anything like that. You're essentially talking from the black fence, even if you were on the right-hand side, which they did right before the Oyster Festival as well, cleaned up the area and stuff, and that's what we do.
So
We usually run through there a couple times a year.
So if we dispense with hiring a professional to take the stuff to the dump.
Well, that's what I'm just trying to figure out, what's how's that so
and that's
expensive?
I kind of expected this conversation, honestly. There is an alternative plan of which I said scalable. We could completely pull it back and I can get volunteers to help clean up a majority of it, which will really reduce the cost.
Yeah.
The big thing is you also wanna make it look better. It can't just be a worn out building. You need to put pots, you need to put flowers. It has to look more presentable.
Yeah, that's something separate, that's obviously something.
Yeah, well, that's what's included in that total, and so it can be greatly reduced. The big thing is just about cleaning up the area and weed whacking, and so again, I think it can be really pulled back, especially if we get volunteers to take care of a big portion of this. And probably get down to at least probably 500, I think.
What size ads are you talking about on your weekly ads? Cause that's really high too. Are you talking about full page ads?
No, it'd probably be eighth, I think.
And I
Well, then that's
apologize,
really
right?
high.
Yeah,
That
it's
money's-
200.
that-
Actually, those are quarter page ads.
You're talking about quarter page ads?
I checked the prices and that adds up to 4 quarter page ads in Wareham a week. 4 in Sippington a week, which is cheaper. It comes out to $13.60.
I apologize, I have to run to the
Yeah.
11, they're actually, I'm the one that lets everybody into the meeting, so.
Thank you, Derek.
So
Thank you, Kendall. I think from my perspective, there might be, you've put a lot of research and I appreciate it, but we
Yeah.
might not be there yet. I'd be happy to talk to you what you're talking about, the cleaning as well.
So for the ads,
I
are you
definitely we
talking
can get
about
that for
only
much less.
Thank you.
so for the ads, would you be running for the proposed each time you ran an ad, are you running it for all of your, is that 6 things, or are you looking at what I call the 4-pack from Ann?
I think we'd try to do the 4-pack to try to save money. Because obviously you do them consecutively, you save.
Yeah.
I think you save a little bit of money there.
Yeah, I looked it up and that's the 4-pack price.
Okay,
So it'd be just 4
but
ads.
so you would put all dates on it? That's what
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, it'd basically be providing for the market that's coming up.
But the ad has to be the same every time.
Right,
To
exactly.
qualify. So what Judith is saying is you would list each of the dates
Yeah.
in every single ad.
Your ad would have to be
Rather than-
identical, yes.
Right, rather than a separate ad
Right,
for each
it'd be
ad.
like ad 4, 1, 2, 3, 4.
I honestly would caution the WRA from doing business with an entity that does not have D&O insurance.
Does it not have what?
Director and office, it doesn't have insurance,
Okay,
directors and officers particularly. I serve on many committees, I have on many boards, and it's a protection for the people who are members of the association or of the 501c3.
I don't mind looking at that. I've talked to and been part of many nonprofits in many different capacities, and most of them don't do that. It just isn't a necessity for them. But if that's really a deal breaker, I definitely don't mind looking into that. It just has never been a prerogative.
It's a deal breaker as far as I'm concerned in terms of protecting the WRA. We would be giving an entity money that doesn't have protection for its officers and directors, et cetera.
Don't we do that a lot though?
What?
Have we not given money to organizations that don't have protection for their officers and
No.
directors?
Do you have an example in mind?
Sip and stroll?
Sip and stroll?
She has insurance coming up. She has
Right.
she has every permit and insurance known to man.
Okay, we know that.
Yes, I have the documentation. She provided the documentation.
Okay.
I think it's a great idea. I think you are really premature in trying to do this. I would suggest maybe a September 20th one shot where you do an awesome job, that you come back in whatever's our next meeting, Mr. Chair, and have more information that has been refined to meet our requirements and Mr. Sullivan's requirements on behalf of the town and the select board's requirements.
What would the select board's requirements be?
Well, if he's gonna have music, he has to have a
Well, I don't
one-day
think that was part
entertainment.
of the original,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's not part of it.
That
No,
was
I
a
know, but if you
down
do
the line.
one and it has the music, you will need that license.
But if you
Right,
don't do
yeah.
that,
And
then-
those licenses, you have to have a public hearing, it's harder to do.
Right, but I don't think that's,
No, I don't, I'm just suggesting, I'm trying to throw every roadblock up so that you know what the roadblocks might be.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking about those, that's why I wanna start smaller, because that way, like, we can get established as, hey, here are a group of pop-ups who are here, and then you can build off that, and then it can slowly become a thing over the course of time, and it can grow out. But ideally, just getting the people there and setting that up is the hardest part, so getting that hurdle first is more important than figuring out whether they have music down the road or not.
right, but also to get people there and to get them, these vendors, and to get them to want to come back, you need to have everything sewed up tight.
Yeah.
And so just going through here, on the old train depot, you're saying it's free for 501c3s.
Yeah.
But WBA isn't one.
It is one now,
It is.
it is.
Oh, congratulations.
And that's why you need the insurance.
Yep.
So,
Still,
Dan,
And-
I have to leave the meeting, so can we
Let's summarize.
can we hold some of the other ones off to another meeting, cause they're biggie presentations?
Yeah.
Yes, I would like to approve
And if
the
you wanna do a
minutes.
meeting next week, well, no, next week is terrible, but
I'd like to do a couple of quick things before you have to leave, Judith. I mean, you could, we still have a quorum.
yeah,
yeah, we could still approve the minutes.
What I'd like to do is
We
first
could-
wrap this up.
Yeah, finalize this conversation.
Kendall, you've gotten some great feedback on this proposal. Congratulations on establishing the
Yeah.
WBA.
Yeah.
And becoming an official 501(c)(3). Thank you for organizing 45 plus businesses taking on projects like this. I think I have a general sentiment from the group. We haven't voted, but I think we have a general sentiment that we would like to try to support pop-ups and would like to work with the WBA to try to encourage this sort of revitalization effort. But as you got some good feedback today, we might want to tighten up the proposal a little bit.
Yeah, I don't mind doing that to make it I kinda figured we'd have to push it back, cause I kinda figured there'd be some feedback and you need exact numbers, and also give us what the range of what I'm looking at, cause there's several ways you can go, so I don't mind if you wanna table it and then we come back next time with a exact list of everything so people can see that.
so I would suggest that we just leave it with no action
Yes.
and have him come back with the required information or the suggested information.
Yep, and I think you heard too from Mr. Sullivan, he's willing to talk to you about having town maintenance.
So you can
folks
have that
participate in the
conversation
cleanup.
offline with Derek.
Right, yeah.
About the
I
cleanup
know you're
and how the
talking to
town
Don't
can
Trash
help.
Wareham, you should probably get them together in your meeting with Mr. Bernard.
Yeah.
on what
Mr.
that might look
Menard?
like.
No,
Doesn't Dave Menard go?
Mr. Sullivan.
Mr. Sullivan, you go for Mr.
Yeah.
Sullivan.
Go to Mr.
Yeah.
Sullivan.
Emma, can I see you for a second?
Yep.
Hang on
And-
one second, hang on.
Go ahead.
anything else for Kendall before we table this issue? Josh? anything?
Yeah, just one thing. I think 6 hours might be a little long.
I thought of that, it's tricky because cause I look at other markets and they
Yeah.
range between 4 and 6. Ideally, you wanna have more time and you can always, it's easier to wrap up earlier than it is to kind of be 4 hours and then try to, because like if we're at 4 hours, we have to stop at 4 hours.
Right.
But if we're at 6 hours, you can always clean up earlier. I'd rather not, I don't think we will honestly, but I'd
Okay.
rather have the time, and also you have to keep in mind that you wanna have enough time for everyone, cause it's gonna be coming in waves, some people aren't gonna be able to come in the mornings, you wanna have a little time for the afternoon people, but you also don't wanna be too early for some, so you wanna, from when I looked around, obviously it seemed like a little bit of much, but at the same time, it allows a little greater range for people and for people to come there and visit them, and if people sell out, they sell out.
Can you get feedback from your members on this timing?
Yeah, I can.
What they think is a good idea?
Yeah, I talked to farmers, they're all over the place, honestly, like every single one of them had a different answer.
Yeah, okay.
Thank you. Kendall, thank you very much.
Well,
We'll
I did
table
have one
this.
more feedback. The vendor stalls on page 2 under finances, $20 each for town, charges $25 each
50,
per,
isn't it?
no,
Yeah.
25
Well,
per vendor, that changed.
well, the list online still says 50.
Okay,
The
then,
vendor fees were canceled.
Yeah, I was under the impression that you guys actually changed that last
oh, we
month.
don't charge for 501c3s, you're right,
Yeah, which is why I had to go ahead and wait for the
But so you're gonna charge your vendors
Yeah.
$25 to go to the WBA?
You know,
Okay.
to do the event, and honestly, that's not even going to us, it's just going to the person who's gonna help run it, so it's self-contained,
I see.
so that way it's not all run on it. We have one individual who's basically in charge of running this program separately, independently from the board. You know, well, they report to the board, but I mean like so it's not me going down there every day and opening this up and being there every day.
Right,
Yeah.
right, but I guess we can talk more about how the money should flow and to who.
Yeah.
Okay,
Kendall, thank you very much.
thank you.
Thank you.
Good luck with the WBA. We can probably wrap it up pretty quickly with 2 quick items. I'd like to get the minutes approved for June 26th. That was the visit we made to Hudson. That particular day, you should have copies of the minutes. Do you have yours, Sarah?
I have problems with my select board email right now, so
Yeah,
no.
I have trouble with my redevelopment authority email. Did you see it, Josh?
I've seen them, yeah.
Okay. Any comments? These are short and sweet.
They're good.
Okay, all in favor of approving the minutes for?
Well, I move to approve the minutes for June 26th.
Do I hear a second?
I will second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, the minutes are approved, 3-0-0. And we're gonna put on hold then, discussion of the Attorney General's
Mhm.
program for receivership, and abandoned housing initiative. We'll push that to August. We'll push the WRA storefront renovation grant program to August. And actually, Kendall, that's something I'd like to talk to you about. If I could get some feedback from you and your members on what we might contemplate there to make the downtown look better. And then we'll just save the Hudson field trip until the next one also.
So when is our next meeting? Are we still on a once a month thing
We are,
through?
and if we
August?
if we just stick to the normal first meeting of the month, it would be on, looks like 14 August. That's the second Thursday of the month. Should we just go for that, so we don't have to go, otherwise it would be 28 August, almost
Yeah,
September.
I'm in favor of, oh, sugar. My granddaughter's gonna be here,
On 14 August?
yeah, and they're only here for one day, I can't, yeah, I hate
Okay.
that.
We could maybe push it for 7 August, but I'll have to talk to Patty, make sure the room's available.
Okay.
7 August, okay for you, Josh?
Mhm.
Okay, let's shoot for 7 August. It's tentative, I'll have to talk to Patty, make sure we can get the room, and I'll have to run that by Judith and Derek also to make sure they're available.
Thank you.
And I think we hit the highlights today. Any other comments before we go to adjournment?
Yeah, I have to. Do you wanna talk about the finances at all? Or is the?
Actually, yeah, this is great. This is
Okay.
really helpful. Is this something you can email out to everybody?
Okay.
Because I think there are gonna be a few questions.
Sure.
You know, I had the question about Onset Bluff cleanup, if that's actually money we are committed to expending or need to expend now.
I think it's just a project that was identified as something you guys could do with an estimate.
Okay.
I don't think you've made any promises to anyone.
Okay, and I think the slum and blight for East Wareham, that was aspirational, but we haven't actually, I don't think we're
Right.
contracted for that.
Correct.
I think this is worth discussing in more detail
Mhm.
as a
Okay.
group,
So maybe we put it on the agenda.
yeah.
All right.
Yep.
It'll be on the agenda for the next one.
And just so you know,
Well, actually,
Josh,
you got two of them here.
they're two
One is
different things.
encumbered expenses and then the other one is actual expenses, so
Gotcha. Okay.
yeah.
Josh, I saw the email response from you, and I was gonna print that out, but I'm, having
Yeah.
trouble, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
So I'd like to have that, I'll send that to Dan, I'd like to get that on an agenda to
Okay.
further talk about.
Sure.
Josh sent me a list of grants possible for redevelopment and storefront facade stuff,
Oh, okay.
based
good.
on an article I sent him about Hyannis getting a grant.
Yeah.
To
And
do
you're gonna
that.
send that out to everybody so we can all see it?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then the other thing I wanted to just mention was for the coastal pathway, Sean Reagan has reached out to MBTA to hopefully set up another meeting and propose or not propose the elevated boardwalk. So we're still waiting to set up that meeting, but
And that would be a meeting that the contractor and you would have with MBTA or?
so I imagine Sean and I would sit down with the MBTA. Sean may bring in the people who gave him the estimate for the actual elevated boardwalk, just so we can really hammer down that it's not a cost saving and super ineffective. But we're just waiting to hear back on setting up that meeting.
If you don't mind, let me know the dates because
We'll make sure that you're invited if you want to
yeah, I'd
attend.
like to weigh in if I can, if I'm available that day.
Of course.
Okay. Josh, thank you. I think we've accomplished what we absolutely had to today. Do I hear a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
It's unanimous. We are adjourned at 11:17 a.m. Thank you, everybody.